hello and welcome to a new episode of Mind Muscles podcast. Today we have a very special guest, UAE national football player. Welcome, Areej Al Hammadi.
Thank you for having me. Always an honor.
So, how are you today?
I'm good. Yeah, feeling good.
We're very happy to have you here. Um, Areej, before we start, we were talking about injuries just a while ago before we start shooting. Um, what was your lowest point of your career?
Uh, wow,
I'm starting.
yeah,
Boom.
you went straight to the difficult one. Well, I didn't look. I'm not a pro with injuries and stuff. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
But I've been around people who have been. That's why I have some insight on these things. I'm always looking into bettering myself and strengthening my physique and myself and bulletproofing myself to be able to perform. So the lowest point in my career is not based on an injury, I would say.
Amazing.
It's mostly, it's a difficult one. It's mostly, I would say, is every day is not every day, every other day, or maybe every week you have your struggles, right? And there's in football, for me, in women's football, it's like this up and down, up and down. You have highs and lows a lot.
Yeah.
There's different challenges, but for me would be the all-time struggle, which is wanting to perform, to achieve something, but not being able to because of things that are out of your control. You can do everything you can in your power to perform on the day, but if, as a team, you don't perform well, you don't achieve things, right? Yeah, I would say there were times when I just felt like everything I've done is just not enough, or I'm not good enough, and this kind of like gets into your head at times and kind of affects your performance. There are many of those days. I think so. Yeah. I would say those are my lowest points. There are days when I just felt like I wasn't good enough for a team, for a starting team, or to help the team win things. But of course, for me, like when I feel that way, it just means I have to go back and just try to focus, and then it's just going to get better. I'm going to gain my self-esteem again, and be able to perform.
Actually, talking about that, I'm very interested these days to look at the mental health aspect of athletes. How do you think mental health affects an athlete or football player, as you're a football player?
I think a lot, actually. A lot of it about sports. It's about mental strength, and just for players, for young players to understand what mental health is or what mental strength is, and be able to control it I think is important, because you see a lot of young athletes that just don't know how to deal with stress or anxiety or whatever, and they decide to just not continue in the sport. So it's really important, I think, to educate them, and somebody be there to help, be it your friends, your family, the coach, your teammates, whatever, to just help ease and control that those thoughts and these challenges. So yeah, I really think it's very important that when you feel confident and you're the top of your game, you perform really well. So I mean, you have abroad as well. You have like in America, it's very popular there, where they have sports psychologists within the team, right? I think in England as well, all the big teams now have that, because you need to make sure your players are in the right mindset to perform. So yeah, I think it's really important.
And I think we have seen very good examples of people who had talents, but they couldn't reach to the elite, and they couldn't reach as an elite player, or they couldn't reach to their full potentials. Like, you can you can see that this player has a lot of potential, but uh, sometimes because of their mindset, and they've lost somewhere, and you don't hear about them anymore, and they end up playing in some small club, or maybe they don't play at all, and their career just end there.
Yeah, exactly.
And internationally, we have seen a lot of these players. Um, for example, one of the big names that pops up to my mind, a player like forgot his name. Um, Played for Real Madrid, and he went to City, and then he just disappeared after that. Just forget his name. Ronaldinho is another example. Ronaldinho could have been one of the best players ever, if it wasn't for his mindset, right?
Yeah.
A lot of
Players like Neymar as well. I mean, he is a great player, but everybody's criticizing him because I wouldn't say it's he has mental. He's not able to kind of control his mental strength because he does fight a lot of criticism, I think, and he still is considered a really good player, you know. But their priorities, I think, is what kind of sets them apart. Who's hungry enough to continue and fight all the criticism and the mental strength and the stress and just be able to get through all of that and still perform day in, day out, you know. Yeah, so absolutely, there's so many players, like you said, that just, you know, that go from UK to Spain. Or the other way around, and they just don't perform, you know. It's the change of culture, a change of environment, the stress, the language, culture shock, whatever it is, like, I mean, and the team and familiarity is different, you know. You don't have that, but to be able to just have the mental strength to pull through and just you know, get through all these challenges, I think is what, you know, sets them apart, a good player from a bad player. There's so many talents out there, just like you said, they just don't make it.
What do you do when you have these kind of thoughts? You said you had a lot of days where you you told yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't perform. What do you do to pull yourself out of these thoughts and reach to your top level, let's say?
A good example for me is when you go out for a run and you're just not in the mood to run, you know, or you're just not feeling it that day, or you're a little bit tired. What helps me pull through is just, I need to just tell myself, I need to just go out there, run, but no matter what, just don't stop. Don't walk, just keep jog, slow down, whatever it takes, but just finish a race and just keep running. And, you know, maybe today is not a good day, but as long as I get through this, the next one will be better and better and better, and you start picking up. So whatever it is, you know, you're having a bad day, just train, get out of the system, keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, it's just a matter of just getting it out of your system, you know. Just train, don't stop, don't let yourself quit. And that, for me, I think works. It's just about patience, you know, and determination.
Awesome. When did you actually start playing football, Areej?
If I try to remember, maybe 10, 12, yeah, as far as I can remember, when I was watching the World Cup. Yeah.
And when did you fall in love with it and you said, okay, that's it, I'm doing this?
When I started playing, it was just so much fun. And so I would have to say, it's like the World Cup is what got me into football, that atmosphere, that environment, the game itself as well. I used to just go outside with my brothers and my cousins and just reenact the World Cup. We used to watch the games and then we'd go out and we'd play. And, you know, as a kid, you just use your imagination and you think you're playing in front of like thousands, you're playing the World Cup, and if you score this goal, you win the cup, it's the final.
Celebrate, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that feeling every time we played was just so much fun. I enjoyed it. So.
And when you actually started your professional career?
8 years ago, sorry, 2015.
2015, yeah. Okay. So you started at which club?
Late. I was before that. I was just playing, you know, seven-a-side and just like with community, no-profit, non-profit leagues and competitions. When I started with the national team, I also joined Al Wahda Club for a couple of seasons, and yeah, I started from there. I played with Abu Dhabi Country Club. I played with La Liga. Yeah, who knows where it's gonna go next.
And where are you playing now?
Well, the season's over.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea. Let's see. I'm just playing for fun. I play a little bit of football with my husband sometimes with like a mixed group. We play 7-a-side, 8-a-side. Yeah, let's see. Season's starting soon, and we'll see what happens.
Inshallah. What do you think about female football in general in UAE?
What do you mean?
Um, if let's just put it this way: if you have a chance to be in charge, um, what are you going to change today?
Uh, a lot. Like, while it's really great that there's been, ever since I started, like, fell in love with the game, and now there's been a lot of change. There's so much. When I started, there was no such thing as women's football, not heard of. Even though there was, Women's World Cup and everything, but just in the region, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't popular. There weren't any academies. I couldn't find any clubs to play at, or academies even. So we've really progressed. There's so many academies now. There are clubs. I can say I'm playing for the national team as well, which is a dream come true. But it's not enough. I think there's, like, alhamdulillah, we have everything here in the UAE. We always like to be the top in everything as well. But I feel like right now we have clubs, we have academies. So some of the clubs like Al Ain and the other club, Al Ain and Abu Dhabi Club Abu Dhabi Country Club has been around for a while, but Al Ain has started now, and they're forming like a women's football team it's been like a couple of seasons now, which is great, and I really wish like more clubs would start doing that as well. But in terms of like women's football in general, it's still not at the level that I feel it should be compared. Like, let's just compare it to Jordan, for example. Jordan have already, I don't have all the details about it, but you can see that they've already started, their clubs are, have contracts the players have contracts with their clubs now. A lot of their players are playing abroad. They have a professional league, whereas here we're still trying to maintain a consistent and a sustainable structure for the leagues, for 11-a-side, to have, instead of every season being the same number or less number of teams participating in the league, we should be aiming to exactly, and have the same teams just progressing and getting better, and just increasing the number of teams as well. And then who knows, eventually have 2 divisions, maybe 3 divisions. And these are milestones that we should be aiming for. With that, of course, you have to think about how you're going to market all this out to the public, and just change the mentality towards women's football, to attract more players, for parents to allow their kids to get involved, to play. This is just top of my head, like, things, but there are so many things I think that need to be like developed from a marketing perspective, from a league perspective, operationally, for clubs to take part, like do their part as well. For I think in general, it needs to be taken seriously, and at the moment, I don't feel like it is.
Do you think the society is ready for it? The mindset of the society is ready to accept that it's okay for an Emirati woman to play football?
Yeah, why not? It's a sport. Like any other sport, I still don't see why it shouldn't be, and once I don't want to it's not just because the culture is not accepting it as well. I think there's also a cultural transition that we need to do where or Emirati females need to start thinking or trying to become more professional, like athletes. You know, so think about your physical health, how to be. You know, being a professional athlete is different than just playing a sport once a week, twice a week. If you're going to be representing your country or playing for a professional club, you have obligations, you know, and then your performance, your physique, your strength performance is all really important. That you need to take care of. So nutrition, you know, taking care of yourself, working out in the gym, putting the extra effort and work on the field and outside of the field. Where I feel like a lot of girls are not there yet, and so that needs to be first implanted, or you know, like you need to just change that mentality and just get the girls to, from a young age, to just think, okay, I want to play for the national team, and then it'll become more like in America, the girls from a young age are athletic. It's part of their curriculum, it's part of their college curriculum, it's part of their schools, and they take it seriously. They're really physical, and here it's not so much. I feel like, sure, but we have the potential for it. You really see it in the girls. There are really so many talented girls out there, and girls that can be really strong. But yeah, it's just that extra effort off the field. Like, you don't need to be told to do this to do it. You know, you need to just, you know, there's so much information now. You're on the phone all the time. The internet's full of information. Instagram, social media, whatever. There's bad information and there's good information. You can learn from those things, I think. It's just, I think that's one of the main things as well, is about changing that mentality.
I know it always starts with schools, right? And I know in our schools we do have sports for either for men or for women. We have schools that looks after the physical aspects of the students. But what I didn't see is taking that sport seriously. Putting the idea of taking sports seriously in the mind of the students is something I didn't see in any school, especially government school, because talking about because the majority of the schools, right, and majority of Emiratis are in government school. I didn't see, apart from football, where if you see a good player, they take him to clubs, and you have scouts in schools. Maybe, I don't know if they have, but I think they have, because I've been selected once when I was school.
Nice.
I went to a Ajwan club. I played for a couple of weeks, and then I think I wasn't good enough. So
mental strength
at
right
that
there.
at that
At
at
that
that yeah at that age, I was, I think, second or third grade. I know they have scouts and they're looking after football, but what about other sports? What about female sports, especially? I think we need to build that mindset in the students' mind since a young age, that if you want to compete, choose a sport that you like and actually go after it from that young age. Because then it will be very late to build up later on. It will be easier to pick up in school and then take it from there. And I learned this from there's a movie for Serena and Venus Williams, how their father used to train them since very young age, since 3 years. They started when they were 3. So imagine. And they build it up, and then they both were champions and number 1 in the world.
Absolutely, that's how Olympians are made now, from very, very young
from
age.
very because this is how you build mindset. This is how you build. It's not only physical skills. It's a champion mindset. I need to have. I like how Cristiano Ronaldo thinks. For example, some people might find him arrogant, but I find him amazing guy. He reached wherever he reached putting hard work.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he have skills, but skills is not like Messi. Messi is talented by nature. But Cristiano Ronaldo built his talent, built his
Yeah.
mindset. He was putting extra effort, and we heard the stories. So this kind of mindset, if we find it in schools, I think so many things could change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's I feel like it's a few things in that, like a mixture of things that can help a child kind of, you know, put that effort to become to that level. You know, like for Cristiano Ronaldo, I feel like he had that hunger. Like we know that he came from a broken home.
Yeah.
It was just him and his mom, and they were poor. So a lot of the players are like that. You know, they come from a poor family or poor background, and they find refuge in football. You know, and it's as well, it's a passion. It's fun. You know, to the game is fun to play, and you want to become a good player. You want to play for the big clubs or whatever. But it also means for them that if they make it, then their living standards or their life gets better as well. So there's that, like, you know, go all the way or go home. You know, they give everything in that that hunger. You know, and with the kids that are, you know, Olympians that are like Serena Williams and Venus Williams, they're doing that from a very young age, and they have their dad that was pushing them. So that their dad is the one who's, I haven't seen the documentary yet, but I know which one you're talking about. And when you have your parents there pushing you and helping you through the challenges of mental strength, the mental challenges that you go through, like just thinking, oh, I'm sick of this, I can't do this, or this is too difficult, or I'm not good enough, or whatever. Someone like your family is what will pull you through, you know, from a young age. So it makes a difference. So it's either you're really hungry, like for that success, and this is what you need to make it, or you have really good
Strong
support
minds.
system,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
from a young
Yes.
age. But also seeing a clear path as well. I think, like, I'm sure there's a lot of kids from a young age that want to become, you know, amazing player, professional football players, or whatever sport, whatever athlete, you know. But maybe they don't see, their parents don't see a path in it. You know, like, okay, my daughter or my son wants to be a basketball player or whatever sport, but like, is there really a clear path? Can they really become part of a club or play for the national team? Is there any future in this? You know, these are questions that don't, you know, maybe help the parents kind of push their kids in that direction. So yeah,
So what's next for you?
what's next?
10 years from now, where do you want to see yourself in sport? Let's say in the sport career.
Yeah, I love the game. I'd love to, whatever I can keep contributing to the game, I will. I'd love to be in a decision-making position to be able to, you know, give my input and, you know, try to change the game and really help reach and develop, you know, female football to reach its full potential, the top level that I, you know, wish it does. So let's see. I'm taking it step by step right now. You know, small goals that hopefully, you know, reach the bigger goal in a few years. Let's see.
Inshallah, we'll see you in a leading position soon.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Areej,
Thanks for having
for
me.
your time, and all the best. Inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you.